I'm so sorry about that, guys. I got a little bit distracted with a message that came through, so I have to do a part two for this. So I do apologize. With the divine masculines who have been wearing a mask, I feel that the divine feminines were able to see past the mask, and the divine masculines had dropped that mask. They felt exposed, but it's almost like they were tongue-tied or misaligned with their own version of themselves because it was inexperienced, right? I feel like for those divine masculines who were in this push and pull energy and you had exposed them to your light, to your energy, to your insight and spiritual aura, it threw the divine masculine off because they sense something so familiar, so homely, interconnected, but they didn't really know how to address that. And so the mask kept falling on and off, and they weren't able to recognize themselves in the situations that you were in. So let's have a look at the divine feminine energies at this time. We've got the 10 of Wands. Now, this did come up as the first card for the divine feminines, and I was a little bit dubious because I was like, well, wait a second. I feel like the divine feminines energies are grounded, um, are very in tune with spiritual downloads. However, what I'm getting from this 10 of Wands right now, this energy is showing up because there have been a lot of divine feminines who've had physical ascension symptoms because they're grounding this new reality in the physical. Now, yes, you do a lot of astral work, divine feminines who are resonant with this energy. But it's the divine masculines who co-create with you to integrate this into the physical. Now, you are co creating with your divine masculine because when you, as a divine feminine, heal, you heal the divine masculine's inner divine feminine. When the divine masculine's inner divine feminine is healing, you also are feeling the divine masculine's inner divine masculine's healing. That is ricocheting and mirroring to your inner divine masculine healing. So you're cross pollinating, if you will. Your inner divine masculine is connecting to their inner divine masculine, vice versa. Your inner divine feminine is connecting with their inner divine feminine. The reason I'm saying this is because you are still going through your ancestral wounds and layering the healing based on this reality, but also based on your ancestral reality. So you're going through breakthroughs right now. You're feeling those ascension symptoms. You're having these ethereal coded downloads, and you're seeing the version of you and your divine masculine in a past life that had broken the connection, that had severed this thread because it was very traumatic. It was very painful. I was speaking to a client recently. We were talking about military service. So, if you are resonating with automobiles or aircraft or military service, soldiers, I'm seeing a lot of divine feminines who have possibly lost their divine masculine, or vice versa, the divine masculine lost the divine feminine during this one lifetime where neither of you or either of you came home. Now, the 10 of Wands is depicting this energy of surrender, of acknowledgement of that pain. You're no longer part of that, but your genetic codes had carried that into this lifetime, which deems it more painful than it actually is. And you're feeling that in the physical. You're able to understand my nervous system doesn't feel right with this. And now you're able to connect, well, what are the core wounds that ignite those irregularities of our nervous system? So the 10 of Wands is really important for the divine feminine's energies at this time because they are also healing their inner divine feminine, their inner divine masculine. That is ricocheting and mirroring to the divine masculine. So the same question stands. What is the divine masculine energies at this time? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, you can't make this up. It's the 10 of Wands. I'm shaking, I have goosebumps. Like these things are so rare. If you think about how many cards are in the deck, and the same exact question came through, and the same exact answer came through. It is the divine masculine kneeling. Right now, it is the divine masculine kneeling in front of the magician type of energy, in front of the ringmaster, who's helping them clear the shadows. I feel the smoke is relevant. You're clearing the smoke. Let's just have a look at what the book says regarding the Ten of Wands, because I feel like this could be important for either of you. The act is over. All of the fire has burnt itself out. Now it's time to clean up, pack up, and cart away all that is left behind. The ringmaster gives us a last blow to the remaining wands on the stage as the safety inspector kneels next to the box, which I'm seeing as the divine masculine. Some things need to be packed with care, and they need to have protocols and processes in place to guarantee they are completely done. I'm getting a lot of Virgo energy. Like a lot of you are very pedantic and organizing or organized regarding what certain things go in certain places. It's almost like a toolbox. You need certain tools to go into certain areas of that toolbox. So you know in the future, when there is an emergency, when there is a requirement of that toolbox, you know exactly where things are and you can reach them easily. This is one of them. Make sure your fire is completely out before you move on to the next step. Have your ending process in place. And if need be, have someone help you double check to make sure all is in order. Let's face it, no one wants to be burned by their past mistake. This is the kind of energy that I was getting. So I had pressed for a dear friend of mine, a soul sister, to ask, could you help me with this one core wound? Can you help me understand why this wound or this layer keeps coming up? And we had a magical breakthrough instantaneously. And I can do this with you guys when we do readings or when we do coaching. I don't exclusively offer coaching in that, but it's just a natural process of mine when I do readings. What I'm trying to say is you're not alone when it comes to trying to ground this energy. There are specific people who can help you cut cords, do energetic healings, do spell work, and who can help you talk through the process of your own core wounds. You don't have to do it alone. So let's have a look at what the divine is asking for the divine feminines to focus on in this time. The Nine of Cups. Okay, so I feel like the Nine of Cups is looking at your abundance and your blessings right now. And this isn't to say be happy, be positive. This is something different. I'm seeing that the divine is asking you to see all of these cups of all of your wishes fulfillment. And I'm also seeing people going on adventures, like you're booking things, you are forging ahead with creating new adventures, irregardless of your divine counterpart. And I feel like this is very important for you both to not wait, not have the energy of waiting for your person, but keep forging ahead. I feel like that's a lot of the divine feminines right now, that you're probably shifting your energetic state into an aura of abundance. And the divine masculines don't really see you as this empress. Some of them do, but they know you are the empress in the ethereal and the astral realm. But in the physical, they still see you as this Nine of Pentacles energy. What you're doing right now is you're emotionally fulfilling yourself. You're healing those wounds. You're addressing these questions. You're taking a deep dive into spirituality, into philosophy, into psychology, all these different things that help you be a better version of yourself. And you're not doing it for the sake of union. You're doing it for the sake of wanting to be a better version of yourself, divine feminines. So that is what the divine is encouraging you to do. What about the divine masculines? What is divine being asked of them? The World card. The World card is really interesting. And because I've got such a different Cirque de Tarot cards in front of me, I do want to call upon the book. So we've gone from the Ten of Wands. That's the energy that the divine masculines had been in. And the divine is asking the divine masculines that they need to focus on patting themselves on the back, congratulating themselves, because they have come to the end of the show. They need to take a stand and bow before the curtain falls for the final time. This is the World card, which is the final major arcana in the tarot deck. Why is it there? Because you've just ended a huge cycle. We've ended with the Ten of Wands, which is incredible, divine masculines. The message prior to this was packing things away, ticking off the final details, making sure that you have your processes in place, and to have the World card signaled from the divine to allow you to focus on this next thing, just to say, look, you are right there. You are on the precipice of change. You've experienced so much since you've been here, these new lessons, these possibly even repeating old cycles. And you may have even met people whilst you had gone through those stages. Some of them are sitting next to you, maybe. But this shows that you are going through an incredible journey and you're meeting new and interesting people. And you may have even scored new friends, right? But while you're here, while you're learning, while you're on top of the world, like our ringmaster, you may feel under the world. And what I mean by that is being grounded, being closer to the stage. You know, neither position is better than the other, but the location, the perspective is what we're focusing on right now. This is asking the divine masculines to be aware of where they stand, to remember the feeling that this isn't going to last very long. You're going to be vacating your seat. So when the curtain closes, when the lights are turned off, stand up, clap, and rejoice in that ending. Rejoice in what you have accomplished, because things are moving so quickly moving forward. Okay, so what is the divine feminine being mirrored during this phase of ascension? Wow, the Eight of Cups. So, oh my God, I've only just realized the divine feminine has got the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, the 8 of Cups. 10, 9, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Eight of Cups. We all know this is about the reckoning. This is about looking at the cups and figuring out a way to cut those cords in a very healthy direction. This is what I was saying about the divine masculines energies. You know, sometimes we do need to cut cords with the past energies. Sometimes we do need the spell work. We do need the Reiki. We do need those ascended masters, guides, ancestors, spiritual workers. Sometimes we do need this channel. But it's also saying that you still have the power of choice. And what I mean by that is, it's not to say free will. You know, if you've seen my videos, especially of late, where I've been on the border of free will, because I feel like if our soul contract is already written, well, we don't have free will because our soul contract is written. Everything is purposeful, and we have a specific direction to go in, and whether we go the long way around or the shorter way around, it's still the way round. The Eight of Cups is signifying for the divine feminines that they have been mirroring exactly what the divine masculines have been letting go of, because they too have been doing the same thing. That is what is being mirrored during ascension. I bet, and I want you to kind of save this message for the future, because when you do come into physical union, I want you to kind of use this as a comparison. Oh, did you have pain there too? Oh, well, what happened in 2012? Or what happened in 2013? What about 2014? Did this happen with you too? What about this? And you are going to have confirmation from your divine masculine that they have been mirroring your ascension symptoms. What is being mirrored to the divine masculines as their ascension? The Hanged Man. When I said earlier, the world is being called for them to view it from where they are, whether it's on top of the world or being grounded, they get to see a different perspective. This is what the divine feminine is giving the divine masculine the ability to do, but it's also through karmic energies, friends, families, work, environments. Everybody is allowing the divine masculines, slow by slow, drip by drip, to see things from a different perspective. So, say, for example, if the divine masculines had been so wounded, so hurt by love, that they wanted to do everything and anything to distract themselves from this uncomfortable feeling, they got scared when darkness came. They also got scared when light came. So, you, divine, as a counterpart, maybe as the first awakened, had shifted the darkness of your counterpart by showing up as you were. It gave them the ability to not only see the darkness, but also see the light. But they were mirroring that too. They also had pushed love away or been hurt by love in such a severe way, they incidentally cut that cord of love. So instead of bringing people closer, having the source of vulnerability to open their heart space, they closed their heart space, they guarded it up, and they basically closed the door to their fort. But what they didn't realize is, whilst they were protecting themselves, they were also pushing out the possibility of love coming in. That was before they met their divine counterpart, and they're now understanding that they've never felt love like this before because they weren't able to contextualize it, to verbalize it, to understand it. So if they failed in everything else, if they've been hurt and wounded and everything else, if everything else confirms their failure and their lack of a beautiful, loving, harmonious relationship, then why would they think that they would succeed in this? So, going back to the actions and behaviors that has been cemented in their reality, they knew that they had to protect themselves, to guard themselves, to block away love, to stop themselves accessing this because they didn't know what it felt like to be seen, to be heard, to be fully accepted as they were unconditionally. And that's what you did. They didn't recognize it at the time, but that's what you did, divine feminines. And then you've got this other part where the darkness asks them, but why would you succeed in this? Why would you succeed with them? They're better than you. They're higher than you. They're more evolved than you. They're shining brighter. So then they deep further into the darkness. They seep further into the karmic cycles and the shadows, which makes it incredibly difficult to be pulled out of. The divine feminines have actually pulled out of this energy themselves, but instead of dragging the divine masculines to the light, to the water, they're actually saying, I've done enough now. I respect you, I respect your pace, and I respect your journey enough to let you be because I'm still going to keep going. Okay, that was a beautiful channeled message. So let's have a look at what is the guidance. I'm going to use two cards and then I'm for the divine masculine and then the divine feminine, and then I'm going to use it for the twin flames specifically. So what is the guidance for the divine masculines at this time? The Six of Pentacles, the Death card. Oh, wow. Because they weren't taught how to give and receive love, that paradigm is being broken. The paradigm of love, being vulnerable, being pure, to accept what they truly hadn't experienced, or maybe they did and they lost that. They are now coming into the revelation of this death and rebirth through the ability to give and receive. So let's have a look at what the death card actually says for the divine masculines. We all come to the point of bearing in mind, we've had the 10 of Wands, we've got the World card, and we're in this new paradigm of the spiritual version of the divine masculine as the Hanged Man. So they're already connected in the spiritual realm. They already know what's going on. the death card. We all come to a point where we have to exit the stage. What did I say? The Ten of Wands is packing up the toolbox. It's packing up the boxes. The world is, you've done it. You've packed it up. Now just wait for the curtains to close because you've done it. The Hanged Man is, okay, now what? Because the curtain's closed, and what happens with the next scene? Do I need to now rehearse for a new play? Do I need to go forward and do something else? Now what? They're in that phase right now. And the divine masculines are being ascended into the pause. Now what? The death card is saying, you've already exited the stage. Their part has actually been played. Who we were ceases to exist. Like, you guys, this message is so incredible. Now listen, use your magic to click the like button, because not all twin flames are going to manage to hear this or find this guidance for free on YouTube, because YouTube is infiltrated with wounds, with triggers, with romanticism of twin flames. But what we're trying to say here is you are both exactly where you were supposed to be, because this was the plan the whole time. So please like the video and allow others the opportunity to see this on their timeline. And then they can use their own discernment whether they see it or not. But listen, the divine masculines have ceased who they were. That no longer exists. But get this. This happens multiple times in our lifetime before the final hurrah. There are moments when the current costume doesn't serve you well. This is the type of energy where I felt that the divine feminines are clearing. Like their bones, their skin doesn't fit in their body anymore, and they were transmuting physically. They were ascending physically. Okay, so there are going to be scenes where you need to switch roles, and there are going to be acts in which you will be asked to switch it up. In the wake of this metamorphosis, there will be ghostly echoes of the version of you left behind. Believe it or not, this is progress. It is a natural cycle that must happen in order for you to stay in the flow of expansion. Things must end in order for new to begin. Who you used to be won't be able to create the new life you dreamed of. Therefore, leave the pile of clothes where they are, move on to the next, find more aligned costumes for the part you will play next. This is incredible, you guys. I cannot comprehend the way that the divine masculines have done the work. They have to move forward, and the guidance for them is to find new kit, to try and fit into this new space. Now, for the divine feminines mirroring this, you are going to know this because you already have changed your appearance. You've changed either your attire, your physical appearance, your makeup, what you're wearing. This is happening with the divine masculines too. Okay, for the divine feminines, what is the guidance for you at this time? The Four of Pentacles, the King of Cups. Okay, so let's have a look at the Four of Pentacles right now, because I feel like this isn't your traditional deck, right? I feel like the King of Cups and the Four of Pentacles gives off a different type of energy than the traditional tarot deck, should I say. So for the divine feminines, your guidance moving forward is when we bow to the machine, or when we bow to something in reverence, we're offering our faith, our servitude, or are we merely devoting or showing devotion to the world that we are a part of? We are surrounded by things we desire, things we exchange for other things. But it's important to know that if you consider yourself just as another thing to be consumed, or if you see yourself as someone who has the power over things that the world and the things that you create, this is amplifying what you're creating and what you're manifesting into this world, divine feminines. Now, funnily enough, I've got the King of Cups imagery is like multiple planets in their hands. I feel it's the divine feminines, instead of manifesting material things in this physical world, you're manifesting planets, you're manifesting miracles, growth, new generations, and new lifetimes. I don't mean this in the physical realm, I mean this in multidimensional realms. Your engaging with the material world is aligning with where you are right now, but you're aligning with the astral realm because you're stepping up the lead to co-create with the ethereals. Now, I feel like a lot of divine feminines have also been mastering their emotions, mastering their level of neutrality. And just to round up, because this reading has come up a little bit longer than anticipated, but also I really want to close this reading out before I go on to a few personal readings. We've got the Hermit for the divine masculines and the divine feminines, and we've also got the Empress card. Now, I really love that the Empress card actually came out on this one, because I was thinking the Empress card right at the beginning of the divine feminine energies, but it didn't really come out. But this is the twin flame message. The Hermit card is showing up to say, how blessed are you to have light in the dark? Listen, we've literally just talked about lighthouses, darkness, scaring the divine masculines into thinking that they haven't figured out the path. But what's being illuminated to you gives you enough light, right? So when you're driving hours and hours on the road, you don't need the whole freaking road to light up. No, you need a few feet ahead, and you'll still get to that end of the journey. The Hermit is ever concerned with what is your next step. That's all you need to know about twin flames. Forget about the future. What is the next step? In the stillness, there is grace. You get to trust this light. Only go where the light shines. So there is comfort in the dark and the safety of that light. So when one goes through dark moments or a moment of solace and solitude, remember you have the light you need to get through your next steps. Now, what a beautiful message for the twin flames to have. And also the final message, not all empresses want to be bothered with huge life tasks. Some want to lay down and eat cake. I'm going to hold my hand up. I would love to have that life. This empress is pregnant. The fool rushes around trying to herd her rabbits to no avail. There is no order or authority, just a fed up woman and a frazzled mind. And honestly, that is how often creation works. It shows up, it creates massive change, and then leaves for you to sort out the mess, which you will do. Eventually, when you feel more aligned to the constant multiple abundance around you, this is what I was saying regarding the Nine of Cups. Maybe right now, cake is the answer. Staying on the couch is your best plan of attack, resting, recuperating, stillness for you divine feminines and the divine masculines alike, because they've got the Hermit card. Your life is your responsibility. Like all good empresses, you will sort it when you're good and ready. So the fact that we've got all of these cards coming out harmoniously, synergistically with one another shows up to say everything is at hand, everything is working in divine alignment. You are being protected and honored right at this time. You don't need to have it all figured out because it's all working out for you. Now, I love you guys. Sprinkle your magic fairy dust on the video if you liked it and you resonated. Let me know in the comments box because I absolutely love hearing from you all. And I'm sending you guys so much love. Bye for now.